have some.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yes Have Some podcast. My name is Craig Goldberg. What are you doing?
I thought you clapped at the beginning of these.
No, only on video.
I do.
Why aren't we by the fire right now?
Hey, we got a good reaction to that Halloween episode.
Yeah, they were clapping.
The other day, because Abby, you had... They were clapping.
Speaking of clap,
You think people are like
I'm trying to do a
on their commute and they're listening and they get done, they're just like, yes.
I hope they stand up at whatever restaurant they're
Vampires.
in. Yeah, and get on their desks and salute and clap. Standing O for
I
every
hope
episode.
so. I hope that's happening. Let us know.
Abby, you didn't watch it until recently. I mean, it's only been a week, but the other day, Abby was like, "Hey, I saw some of our Halloween episode. That was pretty good."
I was like, I blacked out because of the fire. I was a little bit stressed by that, but
That's
also
good.
it kind of created a fun, like frightening element. So I enjoyed it.
Fun fright. Jacob, you're in person again.
I am.
But
Here again.
So we're not on video for the first time in a very long time, but that was, I haven't showered today. And
Yeah, I don't know where to look right now.
What do I do? No, but you, we kind of had to change up our plans last minute because you are heading out of town unexpectedly.
Yeah. I got a call. I got the call from Jay Key
Ooh, that's a good call.
like less than a week ago. He's heading over to DesignerCon. He's vending there, and he needed some help. His friend, our friend Ryan, who usually helps, not YHS Ryan, but couldn't go. Something fell through, so Jay needed some help, and he was like, "Hey, I need you to come to DesignerCon," and I was like, "All right."
For those who don't know what DesignerCon is, it is a maybe I guess I don't really know what it is.
It's a designer. It's like the biggest designer toy convention in the world. It's like 500 vendors of Safubi, basically. I'm kind of scared to go because it's the kind of thing, usually when we go to a toy show, we try to save up for months and it's like, well, I'm going to buy something big. But you go to a toy show and you're like still buying like $20 toys and shit. This is a Safubi toy show.
Designer
it is a
toys, designer vinyl,
toy show.
Mondo's going to be there.
Yeah,
Mondo, yep,
it's all
some of our
elite stuff.
friends.
It's the all elite.
It's that all elite.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's going to be fun. It's in Las Vegas. We're staying in Biff's hotel.
Ooh.
Biff
That's
Tannen's
really cool.
Pleasure
Yep.
Paradise.
Yeah,
I've
that's
been
where we're
outside
staying.
of that hotel, but never inside. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Hey.
I told Jakey that I'm going to make him go to all the Leprechaun 3 locations.
Classic.
Oh, better him than us. Just kidding. It would be fun if we all did it.
Like, what?
I'm just kidding. I would love to go, but also,
Hey,
it's a long
well,
drive.
what was the thing you said earlier? Oh, Albuquerque.
Yeah, we're driving. Well, I'm flying into Texas where Jay lives.
Right.
And since he's a vendor, he has to drive. So we will Wednesday morning get up and drive from Texas to Las Vegas. And yeah, we're going to go through New Mexico. And
Two things. You have to recreate the outside of Biff's hotel.
Yeah.
You want to do this the easy way or the hard way?
yeah.
The easy way. Do that.
Okay.
And then let's put Jay Key to the challenge because last time we were traveling, no, this was not the last time we were traveling. One time we were traveling, could have been a year ago, could have been 5 years ago. I surprised you guys and took you to a Lost World filming location, and I didn't tell anybody until we got there.
That was
Yeah,
really fun.
It was very nice.
I like that.
And I was like, "Hey guys, guess where we are? I'll give you a clue."
the gas station?
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Which we were already excited to be at a gas station, but then when we found out that it was like
Then you found out a
meaningful
T-Rex
one.
was there once.
Yeah.
I told Jay, there's specifically, if anybody's not familiar with Leprechaun 3, I know you guys are. You know how the plot in that movie, it's like half of the movie takes place in a casino,
Right.
but then there's also stuff happening at the pawn shop across the street.
Yes.
So there's like one scene you're in a pawn shop and then one scene.
Yeah.
There is a scene in that movie. It's 5 seconds of just the leprechaun angrily like scurrying across the street from the it's just there's no dialogue. It's just a 5 second shot of him crossing the street.
And you're gonna
Yeah.
and I am going
You
to
can do that angry
find that
shuffle.
exact spot.
It's just like Lewis Tully.
yeah.
Go into the whatever it's called.
I gotta find
Orchard
it.
on the Green.
I actually probably should look some of that stuff up.
Yeah, fuck
Tonight
yeah.
or tomorrow.
Well, that's
Yeah.
gonna be awesome. DesignerCon, like you said,
Yeah,
that's
something
cool.
I've always wanted to go to, so I'm excited for you, Jacob.
Yeah, it feels
I wish
like,
you guys were coming for real.
Yeah, if we had maybe like an extra week notice,
Yeah.
probably could have made it happen. My parents are there, not at
They're
designer.
going to be at DesignerCon.
My parents are vending at DesignerCon. They've made some really interesting career choices. They're now doing designer Safubi based on their interests.
I get there and your dad's just selling
Yeah.
the best Safubi I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Well, he was
Anybody could do it.
a lot of people don't know this. My dad was a fabric man.
Yeah, I knew that.
So he would always, growing up, I would hear the word finial all the time.
Okay.
And I
does
didn't know
that
what that
mean?
was.
It's a kind of fox, right? Finial fox.
It's a finial fox. No. It's a no. It's not.
not. I
Well,
just
maybe
made that
it's
up.
not.
Not, oh, dude, I'm gullible. Go.
No, it's Hey, you ready to have the most boring 2 minutes of conversation in podcast history? You know, like on a curtain rod, the decorative pieces at the ends of it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
those are called finials.
It's a weird thing to call them.
Yeah.
So
Why
Should've
not
named our
just
cat Finial, honestly.
call them the end pieces?
end piece of
Yeah.
a curtain rod.
Curtain rod end pieces.
So
the
that was a
ends.
throwback. That was a total throwback.
The more comfortable I get, the further away from the microphone I get. So
Yeah.
I just got reminded by Craig.
The more relaxed Abby is, like she's in the front yard trying to talk into the microphone that's in the room. That's awesome though. I'm excited. But you're gonna help. Do you think you'll have a lot of time to like? You'll have time.
Yeah, I mean it's a 3-day event. And I think I don't know what the layout is. I don't know, like the hotel we're in is the host hotel, but I don't know if it's just like the bottom floor or if there's like a center, some sort of facility attached to the hotel.
I looked it up. There's like I think it's like a small convention center, or not even a small one, but there's a convention center downtown that it's I think next to.
Okay.
I think. Are you gonna go to the Pawn Stars shop? 'Cause
Oh,
it's
maybe-
very
Yeah.
close to. Where
Is
you're
it?
gonna be.
Then maybe I will. Yeah, maybe I'll go in and see if
See if Chumley's there.
Chumley's hanging around.
We went once.
Yeah, they were filming. Rick was like looking at something, and we got to go inside.
Dude, I made eye contact with Rick. I should have done my old man impersonation. Like he's
Yeah, he
just
would
there.
love that.
He would have
He
loved
would,
that.
dude.
Old man was alive though at this time.
okay.
This was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was.
Dude, imagine Rick is there, and then I just sneak up behind him and I go, "Oh hell, Rick, give him $400 for it." I just stumbled on $40, but
Yeah.
just like the old man would have. Rick, I'm not gonna give him more than $100, dude. I
know.
like-
We actually had an item that we were trying to sell there.
Have we told this story?
Probably
We've
a
had
long
to
time
have.
ago. We don't
What
have
was
to
it?
So, the reason we went to Las Vegas was because I got
I've heard this story because I remember you saying something about the amount of money you had,
That's why it's a good story.
dude. Okay, let's
but I don't remember.
Listen,
what you were
maybe we
selling.
told it before, maybe we haven't, but listen, we'll just tell a story. So I got cast on Pawn Stars, which if you guys start seeing this pattern in my life of me just randomly being like, I'm on Pawn Stars, I'm on Judge Steve. Like, who knows? I got to the final round of auditions for Deal or No Deal. I don't think I ever told anybody. Dude, I was like, this is my strategy.
This is it.
I'm gonna, dude. I'd be on Deal or No Deal and win like $2. But, my dad somehow, through a family friend, came into possession of a set of golf clubs in the 1970s that I just saw Jake's eyes glaze over.
Jake's asleep. You're a golf club.
The golf clubs belong to Alan Dorfman. You might go, what the fuck's an Alan Dorfman? So Alan Dorfman was the head of the Teamsters Union and a close associate of Jimmy Hoffa. And somehow my dad's friend's dad, I don't know, there was some connection. Somehow my dad ended up with his golf clubs. He is portrayed in the movie Casino by Kevin Pollak. So there's that.
Did you have proof that they were his clubs?
Well, they were engraved with his name.
Okay.
And it's like the proof was like the story, but like you'd have to be pretty insane to be like to fake that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
it's obscure.
you would also have to be pretty insane to want that.
Yeah, that's the other thing is
or to
there a
care
demand.
about it.
Right. So so my dad had the golf clubs. He took the pictures, sent them to the casting people. They were into it. And I was cast. The way it works on the show is like they don't pay for you to come out. They said, hey, this is an item that we would like to have on the show. And then you schedule a date for filming. So, and that was, it's really weird thinking back now because like, I'm usually pretty on top of stuff. I don't know if 2011 Craig or 2012 Craig was as on top of stuff as maybe I should have been. But I was just really stressed about Ghostbusters 3 and whether or not it was ever going to happen. So at
the time, it was filming.
right, they were about to start filming. So Ab, do you remember all this, right?
Yeah, I remember all this. Yeah. We were going to go in, and I think that we went up there, and they were like, oh, we don't want you today. Come back in 3 days. And we're like, we can't afford to be here in 3 days. We have to go home. We ended up going to another antique shop.
Yeah, but hold on. There's more. No, that's not quite. That's kind of what happened, but we got there, and I had not heard from the casting director, and they were like, oh, we canceled this.
Oh.
There was that like maybe we can reschedule, maybe not. But we were like, we're here.
They canceled it and didn't tell you?
They didn't tell us. Yeah. So it was just like a bad communication.
Us with the golf clubs.
So this is when Abby and I were living in North Carolina, and then so like now we're in Vegas. I do have family there. We were hanging out with some family and stuff, but it was before my parents lived there. My grandparents were there, and that was it. Like we still went to the Pawn Star store just to check it out, and it was probably the day we were supposed to be. So we knew they were filming, but we were kind of fucked because our whole plan was, we really can't afford to go on this trip, but if we can make at least like $500 off these golf clubs, like I'm sure
you can just break even by getting home.
I am sure that even if they buy something from you from Pawn Stars, you probably don't get that money for like 6 months.
Yeah,
No.
we were pretty green.
It's like that time we got paid to be extras in Ghostbusters.
Oh my God. I'm still waiting.
I seem to remember filling out some paperwork.
Yeah. On paper, it was going to be a money-making like scheme. And
Not
then
Ghostbusters.
Oh, no.
No.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, Ghostbusters for us, it has been a money-making. Sure.
Oh, look at us now.
I don't really even like that movie.
Hey.
I did a study that showed that this was our best possible chance of being influencers was to do Ghostbusters. So I said, all right, let's just do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
None of that's true. I love Ghostbusters. Gonna talk about it in a few. So now we are in Las Vegas with a set of golf clubs. So we ended up going to
No car.
no rental car. We're like on foot on the strip.
Okay.
We did, however, this saved our ass. We were walking through a casino and Abby found a certificate
Shit.
that had come out of one of the slot machines for $80.
Okay, so you stole somebody's
No, it's on the
money.
ground. It's like finding
left.
money.
That's up for grabs.
That's like finding
$80
money.
on the ground.
That's ground ticket.
Somebody's looking for that.
Somebody's still looking for the.
We did get out of there very fast after we cashed
I was
it.
like, oh, I think you can cash
So,
these in.
so you got $80.
So yeah, so we were good for like a while after that.
Nowadays, that's lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$80 would not be an Uber ride back to the airport. So we did end up selling the golf clubs to another pawn shop that was next to like the Mafia Museum, and I was like, well, maybe they'll want it. I went in, showed them the clubs, told them the story, and the guy was basically like, I'll never forget. He was like, look, kid. He gave me the look, kid. He's like, look, kid, it's a cute story.
There's a lot of golf clubs out there.
They were buried with Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah, I think we got like $100, something like that, like $100.
We did. That was the payout plus the $80 that I had
Hey,
come into.
180 is not so bad.
Yeah.
And then we flew home, and we almost missed our connecting flight
Yeah.
because we both fell asleep during the
Yeah.
layover.
I remember I was napping on sweaters from your Papa Wally, your grandpa.
R.I.P. Miss you, Papa Wally.
Love you, Papa Wally.
I wish he would have given me maybe like $80 or $100.
Some more valuable
some extra
golf
$100. Well, now that I'm thinking about it, I wish they would have given me some money while I was there, but they didn't.
Okay. So is the whole reason you went to Las Vegas was for that, right?
Profit.
To go on.
Okay.
So Abby and I remember we got into a huge fight. We actually, now it's all coming back to me. We found out like 2 days before that we were not going to be on Pawn Stars. And I was like, hey, we already have airline tickets in a hotel. Like, it would be dumb to not go. And Abby was like, we really don't have any money though. And in my head, I'm like, we'll get money somehow.
That's what I was thinking.
Free in Las Vegas.
You spent money on the plane tickets and on the hotel. And then, did you bring golf clubs on the plane?
No. They were in Chicago. My dad shipped them to my grandparents' house. Yeah.
But then the whole point of the trip was to sell golf clubs to make money. You went on a trip. I'm sure your plane tickets cost you more than $180.
Look, in my head, I was like, this is going to be huge.
You lost money on this
We
trip.
might get $5,000 for these clubs.
We did.
Was I being overzealous?
Clearly.
Maybe. I think we were young and naive and also really wanted to be on Pawn Stars. I mean, I still
That was my
like
main
that.
driving force. I was like,
to
this would be
on.
so big for my career.
It was also a show that we were really, really obsessed with.
I still like Pawn Stars. And if you guys don't think, I told Jake yesterday, not going to go into any detail, but I told Jake yesterday, we're going to be on Shark Tank in the next 2 years. Like, no doubt.
Oh, absolutely. Even if we don't have a product, like we want
mean,
it
it
so
seems that
bad.
way.
You
We
know
are the
how good our
product.
pitch would be? that we'd
Hi,
do it.
Sharks. My name's Craig Goldberg, and this is Abigail Gardner and Jacob Walsh. Today, we're seeking 5% investment into our company for $3 million. YHS Podcast.
It's like the thing where you walk in and it's in those movies where someone asks you a question and you just say the first, you like look around
Yeah.
and you're like, frame window.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah.
like, what?
Exactly.
Why is your
Frame
podcast
case.
worth $3 million? I'm like, you ever heard of a little movie called Ghostbusters Frozen Empire? And they're like, okay. And I'm like,
We are loosely attached.
yeah,
They
we
all
are.
say
affiliated.
no.
And you cut from it.
They're like,
Is that the one with all the girls?
right. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's every conversation.
Wokebusters, I believe it's called. Anyways, I would love to go on Shark Tank.
Me too.
I would love to be on Pawn Stars, and I would love to be on Deal or No Deal.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Jacob, is there a show that you'd like to be on?
No.
You don't want to be on a show?
Oh,
On
come
like
on.
a game show? No.
Price
Oh,
is
you
Right.
told me it was. Oh, we were going to go to Price is Right once, and you said that getting picked for Price is Right is your literal
It's a nightmare.
Oh, for
Yeah.
real?
I would watch. I would be in the audience.
Yeah.
I don't want to be up there having to. I'm just scared I would freeze and forget every piece of knowledge that I have or
Right.
how to do basic, math or anything.
Yeah. I understand that.
All right. The price is $4.02. Is it this orange juice or this treadmill? And Jake's like, oh, fuck. I feel like it could be treadmill.
Dude, if we were in the audience, that we'd help.
I feel like if the three, like, this might sound like very YHS of me. I feel like if we went to Price is Right, one of us would get picked. It just feels like
Yeah.
a thing that would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Put that on the list.
I've been in the Price is Right room.
You have?
Yeah?
It's on the Sony lot.
Oh, yeah. The studio?
I did that tour once.
The Jeopardy is there too.
Maybe I was on the Jeopardy one. I might have been on. Might have done both
Jeopardy.
of them.
The Jeopardy is there too. Jeopardy freaks me out, man. It's so hard.
That's the one that I would not. I like to,
Well, you have to
Watch
actually
more.
be smart.
You have to be
on
really
Jeopardy.
smart.
like, legit. And that, yeah.
My high school art teacher was on Jeopardy. He didn't do well.
Oh.
No art questions. What is paintbrush? What is paint? What is Microsoft Paint?
When is first period?
I'm trying to think if there's any other
TV show.
TV game show
Brushes.
things. I don't. Well, I knew a friend, somebody I knew in like high school. His girlfriend was on Wheel of Fortune once. It's not really a fun story.
Okay.
Just reaching for other people's stories now. So,
Yeah.
but we did the Steve Harvey thing, and yeah. So maybe one day. Abigail,
Yeah.
how are you?
I'm good. I like how we're doing the how are you like 30 minutes in. I'm good. I'm having
I
a
just
good
want
day.
to know. I wanted to know how you were.
Thanks for asking. I always get weird when we have to do that part. I am as good as I was all day.
Okay.
And that's really good.
That is good.
Yeah, we've got a Christmas tree up. I've got some kittens running around.
Hold on. Hold on.
What? It is.
I want to explain. You said that as if you went out,
With an
cut
axe.
down a
fucking cut it
Christmas
down,
tree.
Chevy
You're
Chase.
like, yeah,
So-
well, we got the Christmas tree up.
Well-
Listen, guys. The Christmas tree is 2 feet tall,
It can't be any
and the
taller.
only thing on it is one single string of lights.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
I don't think you spent too much time getting that Christmas tree.
That was
up.
$17.
It's what makes sense for the cats.
I mean, no, I'm not making fun of it. It's
Yeah.
just the way you said it
oh, I know.
was as if you had this big Christmas tree up.
Dude, I got to tell you guys, I was literally getting so mad the other day. I was at Target and there was all this Christmas stuff. And I was like getting into an argument with you guys about my, like, I'm just going to tell you guys this. I was walking through the Christmas section and in my head, I went, fuck Halloween. I love Christmas.
you
so-
gave me this speech at Target.
What did I
recently.
say?
You said that Halloween is like, it's like fake. You said that Christmas is the better holiday. Clearly, like the duh choice. The Halloween was for fakes.
Yeah, for people whose favorite ice cream is vanilla.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
like Christmas being your favorite holiday is like the most
Generic.
milk toast, like it just is.
Leonardo.
I mean, I like Christmas, but like
I just like
saying
it.
those things that Abby just said, that's
It comes
that's
from childhood.
ridiculous.
It was just like I love Halloween, obviously. I don't really care about Thanksgiving too much because my Thanksgivings growing up weren't all that hot. It represented my whole family being at home cooking.
I just like the season and the
season,
colors
yeah, I like
and
the
stuff.
season.
Other
Yeah.
than that, so
I
whatever.
appreciate
But I do love
palette.
Christmas, and it always represented I think I directly associated with a new video game system coming out and possibly getting
Yeah.
that system.
I like the thoughts of like all the like Christmas cookies in the like
Yep.
green and red. The colors and
The cookies in
it's
the
good.
kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Cookies in the
Cookies in the
kitchen.
kitchen.
the holiday
Memories.
memories.
That's
Yeah.
honestly that's one of the
Speaking
Wow.
of Jake,
yeah, why it's the best holiday.
So yeah, I do love Christmas. I'm excited. I want to. I don't know. I want to buy something nice for myself, like a hot toy or
Put it
something.
under the tree.
Yeah, I might put it.
Better be a little one.
Well, Abby, I was telling you today that show Arcane.
Yeah.
They're doing hot toys.
Yeah, and that's really cool. I finished the first season of that show, and the new season just dropped yesterday. So there's like 3 episodes available, and I'm really looking forward to getting into it. I was telling Craig, it's just awesome. It's like the 2 main characters, they're female leads, and they're just really fucking badass. And the art and the music and the way everything kind of combines, it's really like bright and exciting. And there's magic, and I love it.
And it's based on League of Legends,
Yeah, League of Legends, which I've
is
never
like a
gotten
mobile
into.
game. It's weird.
It's like an old video game.
It's like a video game.
The gamers who listen to us, if there are any, are going to be calling us out so hard.
We don't have gamers.
We don't know about League of
They're
Legends.
gamers.
All I know is the story is really good. It's really, really well written, and the design is very cool on all
Yeah.
the characters.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Would you want a hot toy of that?
Yeah, of Vi.
Vi?
She's the older sister that she's like a boxer.
Is that the Ella Purnell does her voice?
No, Ella Purnell does Jinx's voice, who's the younger sister that has the long blue hair.
Okay. I like this Ella Purnell.
Me too. She's great.
Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, love Yellow Jackets. Season 2, not so much. Season 1, though, all the way.
Remember that time you were watching Yellow Jackets on the plane
Yeah.
while the plane was going down?
I had no idea. I had no idea that show started off with a plane crash, and I watched it on the way to England.
Yeah, I don't like flying, so I preoccupy myself with what you guys are watching. And I glanced
I
at
know.
Jake's screen. I was like, why would he do this?
I was like, this is very realistic. I didn't know. I literally watched the entire first season of that show on the way home from London,
yeah.
or on the way to London. I don't know. One
Yeah.
Of
That's awesome.
Yeah. What are we going to watch on the way to Japan?
I'm gonna take some sleeping pills
Oh,
and
Yeah.
try to go to sleep.
okay. I won't be able to
And then
sleep.
probably The Shape of Water.
Yeah, that's a classic. That's one you like to watch in the
Airplane
air.
nudity.
Yeah.
That's fun.
It's good in the air. Yeah.
It's good.
Dude, it hits. Dude, that I do like in that movie where they fill up the whole bathroom with water. And
Yeah.
just
Favorite
swim.
part.
Like,
I was obsessed with doing that as a kid.
yeah, that sounds
the
like
idea of filling up an entire shower.
it just
I think it would be funny on a. How long is that flight?
12 hours.
12 hours? I think it would be insane, but also funny if you just watched the same movie over and over and like see if anybody around you notices that you're
Craig will
on.
notice.
That you're on your fourth time watching Uncle Buck or something.
Yeah. Craig will lean in.
Yeah.
With his
Oh, that could be. We
sunglasses.
could start a new like TikTok trend called Bucking. It's where
Yeah.
you go on a plane and only watch Uncle Buck.
See how many times you can watch
Dude, I
Uncle
just
Buck.
bucked this plane.
Dude, I bucked the whole way.
I'm
You bucked?
bucked. You mean you were bucking?
Dude, we were bucking the whole time. People couldn't even handle it.
Hey, let me tell you about this thing. Speaking of airplanes, I bought this. Somebody took. I don't have all the details here, so if anybody's listening, they're gonna have to just look it up. But see, have you ever seen that movie, The Langoliers?
No.
No.
Stephen King? No? Okay. So it's about these people who get on an airplane and they wake up and everybody's gone. Like
Okay.
pilots are gone. There's only like 6 people left on the plane. And they land the plane and there's nobody there. And there are these creatures called the Langoliers that are like eating. They've gone back in time. But in this reality, the Langoliers eat what's left over.
Okay.
Okay.
They like eat yesterday. You know what I mean?
Okay. I'm with you.
And these people are stuck there and they have to get out before the Langoliers come and eat it.
Ooh.
But somebody took there's an old like 4-hour TV version of the movie. And somebody re-edited it. And they edited it into an hour into like a short film.
Okay.
And they did these really like artsy things with it and made it look like it's all animated on paper. It's really cool looking.
That sounds cool.
You would have to watch the trailer to really.
Okay.
Did you say
get
it's a
what I'm
short
saying.
story?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's in 4 Past Midnight. I don't know if you have that.
Yeah, I probably do.
It's one of the
paperback
stories. Yeah, it's one of the stories in there. But anyway, you can watch this new version for free. It's called The Timekeepers of Eternity, I think.
Okay.
And you can buy it on VHS. And what's cool about the VHS is they've taped it onto old tapes.
Oh.
And you can get it on just like a random movie. You can get it on like a random Stephen King movie. Or you can get it on a copy of The Langoliers.
Okay.
And the case looks cool because it's like the original case for The Langoliers, but it looks like somebody ripped it. And underneath it is the poster for this movie.
Oh.
That's really cool.
And then if you buy the version that's The Langoliers, the first hour is the new movie. And then when it ends, it's just the rest of The Langoliers.
Man, who would even
I love
think of
that.
doing this?
It's really cool.
Real
We
fans?
should watch the trailer later.
Did
but,
you
But I did buy it.
you bought it.
Cool.
That's what okay,
Yeah.
cool. That's awesome. We were talking about Alien Romulus is getting a VHS
Yeah.
release.
Yep.
How much was it? $60.
It's $60,
cool.
which is steep, but I want to pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
For sure.
I want more
That's
studios.
like old VHS. Back when VHS first came out, when they were like $100.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, what?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you ever find old ads for VHS tapes, they were
super
80
expensive.
They were $80, $100.
I think.
Yeah.
I think it's Batman '89 was the first one to be like $20, and people were like, their mind was blown.
Yeah.
So cool. Hey, should we talk about the fact that we went and saw Ghostbusters live in Orchestra?
yeah.
Sure.
Should we do it?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Yes, have some.
Yes, have some.
We haven't talked about it yet.
Talking
Oh,
about
that
it.
was it.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
That was us talking about it.
All right, so we have been to the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra before. We saw Jurassic Park there. They've been doing Ghostbusters live in concert for, I want to say they started it in like 2019 around the 35th anniversary. We've been waiting for a long time
Yeah.
for it to come to Atlanta. And You know what? I don't know if this is a take, but I think the score to Ghostbusters is underrated.
Yeah, I would say. Much like the underdogs in the film.
Hey, calm down.
I know.
You know,
I know.
I've got something.
I'm just trying to set you up to go on that
I'm
tangent.
going to. But like when you hear people listing the top movie scores, you always hear all
We
the
hear a lot of
John.
Yeah, let's just say it, John Williams. Obviously.
He's got a new documentary out on Disney Plus. It's supposed to be great.
Oh, okay, cool.
But I think Elmer Bernstein's score to Ghostbusters, like, first of all, if you ever get the chance to see a movie with a live orchestra, it's really cool because, you know, a lot of times when you watch a movie, the score kind of like comes in and out of the film. There's times where it's lower, higher, depending on what the dialogue is. But they keep, you know, you hear the full volume of the score the whole time. And there are moments with the brass and everything else, it is just big.
Yeah.
Like it hits hard. And I don't know, I just love it. I just feel like I think as Ghostbusters fans, we know how great it is, but it something about seeing it live just like reinforced that.
I like the fact that it's very stimulating to not only be able to watch the movie that you love be played, which is very like familiar and comforting, but also to be able to look down and see like the music being played. It's like I don't know if it's like an ADD kind of satisfaction of like seeing two things at once that are very creative happening, but I found that to be beautiful. And I also really liked the lighting. I liked how they had pink lights that would pump in for Dana's theme. And yeah, just throughout it, there was like to have all those elements of lights, sounds, and video. I really was like just stimulated the whole time.
Dana's theme is a great piece of music.
Yeah. I think the Ray Parker theme is why the score to Ghostbusters is, you know, it kind of got buried under the Ray Parker theme. That's what people think about.
People
and that's
associate, right.
Yeah, that's the piece of music that got all the you know, all the action. But the score is really good and it's unique and it doesn't sound like it sounds like, I mean, there's like a theremin and you know, all those weird like sounds that sound like throwbacks to old Halloween spooky soundtracks. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It was really fun. I mean, you know, I was a band kid. I love seeing that kind of stuff. I like watching any kind of live music. So
Yeah.
it was great.
Yeah, and I think, you know, when you watch, obviously we've all been watching Ghostbusters for a long time, and like, I do wonder though, like for me with Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, those types of movies being some of the first movies I was ever exposed to, I feel like you subconsciously, your whole childhood or whatever, are taking in the score. So it's like you know the beats of the movie by the score, but when you see the orchestra play it, it's like you get to step outside of it a little bit and observe it from like a different perspective. It's just really cool.
Yep.
But even like when you hear the like Dana's theme, like especially like when it's playing, oh God, now I'm going to second guess myself. I feel like it's Dana's theme playing a little bit when Venkman's talking to her outside of Lincoln Center.
Yeah.
When he says, "Well, I'll bring the Royland Sky, we'll eat and read." And it just kind of hints of it. And then obviously at the end when Venkman, when they take her out of the burnt dog hair scene, it's just good. Like it's emotional. I don't know. I fucking love it.
Yeah.
I was mad though that I just wanted, so the music that play, we talked about it beforehand, the music that plays when Winston and Ray are on the bridge, the doom, 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 doom.
Yeah.
So that's not a song.
It's not. Yeah.
It's recorded for the movie, but they didn't
play it.
they didn't have the drum kit or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they would ask me to. Yeah, I thought maybe I could help out.
Yeah. I thought it was great. I mean, I thought it was really rude that there was just one person standing the whole time. The conductor. That was a joke. There, I got you guys.
Well, can we talk about how human beings are the worst?
Yeah.
I mean, like, just go for it.
Crowds, large groupings of people.
Yeah, there was this woman, older lady with her. I think she was probably the grandmother.
Yep.
Of a small child, 2 rows behind us, just openly talking the entire time on their phones. So much, it was so bad that during the intermission, which I hate that there was an intermission.
Me too.
We got up and moved because there wasn't, you know, there were a lot of seats open. So, We got up and moved. It was that bad. We told them to be quiet. We
did a shush.
We
There were some
shushed.
shushes.
We
We
did a
shushed
public
them.
shush,
And
which
it-
I have
it
PT
stopped them
shush
for-
D to.
It stopped him. Oh, that's my favorite Star Wars character.
PT shush D.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shushti's great.
but yeah, they sucked. After we moved, it was fine. But
Well, you can go to the archives and listen. I would go back to I guess it would be January 2020, pre-pandemic,
well, yeah.
right before
Yeah,
the pandemic,
right
maybe
before
it
February
hit.
2020.
Yeah.
When we all saw Jagged Little Pill.
Jagged Little
Yeah.
Pill.
And
I was experiencing catharsis while the two people in front of us were talking.
they were experiencing Miller Lite.
They were
drunkenness. Yeah.
experiencing Miller Lite. Yeah.
Yeah, we told them to shush.
Well-
we're like, it's not a fucking rock concert.
Well, listen, I've said this before.
Yeah.
I think people are just rude by nature, and especially a lot of people are, and especially nowadays where I know it sounds like an old person thing to say this, but the generation of people who literally grew up with phones, they are the rudest fucking
Yeah.
people in the world.
like that 80-year-old lady behind us.
Well, it's not.
I know.
Grandma,
It's just
nanny?
funny. It's
Well,
just funny.
No, I know what you mean though.
Her kid, well,
Yeah.
her kid was a little kid, but just in general,
Yeah.
those people that don't have any fucking attention spans,
Yep.
they're like that everywhere. I've run into people like that in movies. You can't go to a movie anymore without people just fucking being on their phone in the middle of the movie. I don't even want to do this rant because I feel like I do it all the time. But like any live theater, any kind of, if you're in a theater at all, whether it's music being played, whether it's a movie, a play, I don't care. If you're in a theater, you shut the fuck up. That's the rule.
I honestly think we've had a string of bad luck. When we saw Jurassic Park, there was people behind us talking.
Those people were drunk. Yeah.
When we were at DragonCon this year watching the orchestra, the people behind us were so
Ooh, my
loud.
blood was
Oh, yeah.
boiling. I know.
Oh, that was bad.
I know, that was
hey,
bad.
when an orchestra is playing Bohemian Rhapsody, you know what we don't need? These motherfuckers to sing along. I would like to hear the musicians play.
Everybody
the song.
Yeah.
everybody thinks that it's okay. I mean, that's the exact problem that happened at Jagged Little Pill.
Yeah.
They think they're supposed to sing along, and you're not.
They think they're part of the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're confused. They think it's a live performance in the way that it's like a band performing, and we know
It's-
these hits.
Yeah,
we
it's
should
not
all.
like going to a concert.
Right.
It's
There's
not.
no pit.
I don't even like when people do that at a concert. It's fine at a concert, but I'd still rather
you want
hear.
everyone to,
Jake's like,
to pipe
"Shut
down.
up,
I
Stop it!
still don't want to
Shut
hear
up, stop
you
it.
talk.
Let Chapel Roan sing.
Vindicated. I am wrong. Hey, listen though. Go back and listen to. We're not going to retell the whole story again. Go back and listen to what happened at Jagged Little Pill because let's just say, shit almost hit the fan.
It really did.
Shit.
It really did.
Almost hit the fan.
Yeah. So
Anyway, Ghostbusters was great.
that fucking movie
Yeah.
is so good.
It is so good, and it's like I've seen that movie. That's probably my if I had to count how many times I've seen movies, that's probably the number third most watched film for me.
Yeah.
Second or third. But it's still like anytime you see it in a theater or see it with a group of people, it still blows me away like how good that movie is. And it especially when it gets to the second more serious half of the movie. You notice it does that. The first half's a little sillier, and then it kind of like all of a sudden clicks in and becomes a little more like once they're
It's during that bump moment that we were talking about.
It is. Once that talk happens with
with Ray.
Ray and Winston. Yeah.
My thing is the movie, and I want chime in on whatever. Listen, my joke was, guys, we should review Ghostbusters. The things that always stand with, like, I've seen Ghostbusters a million times. It's on all the time in our house. If I'm flipping through YouTube TV and Ghostbusters is on,
Yeah.
I still go, ooh. I make that noise, ooh, and then I'm like, please tell me that GB2's on next. It is. Calling out of work. Sorry, can't come in. Both of them are on.
Yeah.
You're fired.
Yeah, I remember times when like people were posting on Facebook, "Oh, Ghostbusters on this channel" or whatever. Like it's a exciting thing.
Please tell me Freeform has Ghostbusters on tonight.
Yeah.
It's my second week in a row making a Freeform reference.
Yeah,
the movie.
No, I was just gonna say it's like a kind of like a ground. I don't know, not a grounding, but an inspiring like movie in and of itself to see it work at its age, 40 years old. To see new audiences and
Same.
kids that are scared.
I can't believe I still work
I
at
can't
40 years
believe
old.
we all work.
I'm not sure I do.
Dude, I'm breaking.
But it feels timeless.
yeah, to have all the gags still play and the fear
Yeah.
be real and the laughs be genuine and be there.
None of this, dude. The special effect. There's one shot in the movie that's aged, and that's like the terror dog
I was about to say the terror dog
crashing
is the
into
thing.
the table or whatever.
That's the thing that looks the worst. The terror dog. I also wish you can't see through Stay Puft's foot near the end. You can see through him
You can.
when he's right before he like steps on the church.
Okay.
There's like a scene where he's really up close and he's walking, and you can see through him.
I've never
You can
noticed that.
see the church. Oh, I'll point it out later.
Great.
Mm.
But
Hey,
the
next time we watch it tonight, I'll point it out.
yeah, that's true.
when we finish it, because we're watching it right now. The things that strike me, like first of all, next time you watch Ghostbusters, especially if you get to watch it on a big screen, watch Bill Murray's face the entire movie.
Yeah.
The guy, 90%.
He's making jokes with his face.
Everything's in his face. It's small, subtle, smirks, eye rolls, little, like, at the beginning when Ray comes in and Venkman had just done the whole the card thing.
Yeah.
And Ray comes in, so we got to get to the library. Venkman he does a little thing where like he's aggravated at Ray and he does like a shoulder shrug backwards and he goes like that. And like it's so quick and minor and it is so fucking funny. He does that throughout the whole movie. Rick Moranis is also, I could make an argument that his 12 minutes in that movie are the funniest any human being's ever been. Like the party scene.
yeah.
Just the fact that he goes, you're missing a classic party, and it cuts to maybe the worst party of all time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's refreshing. I mean, there's something about seeing Ghostbusters that does feel like a level of like reverence, especially when we're in a setting like the Symphony. So I really liked watching it where people were paying the proper respect, at least.
Yeah, hearing people laugh and stuff.
Not
was
the
good.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like not the
Yeah.
people behind us from the beginning,
Sure.
but other people around, and to see like young kids laughing at Louis Tully it's kind of heartwarming.
The biggest laugh in the movie is, and maybe it's because we were a week before an election, but the exchange between you will have saved the lives of millions of registered voters and the little smile Lenny gives.
To me, it's the smile that they cut to the Catholic priest and he's doing the slow
archbishop, and he
nod.
does
Yeah.
it's
that.
Yeah.
Well, that whole scene's really great, and it's always like kind of I'm always shocked at just how they're openly making fun of the priest. Like
Yeah, I know.
the Ghostbusters are. As soon as he walks in, Ray and Peter look at each other and they like roll their eyes and they're just making fun of, and I was like, hey, that's kind of a big thing to just be making fun of like Christianity in a movie like that.
Yeah.
But it's like they're scientists.
right,
and they're,
right. But then the other thing is like the way that Mike, I'm in a real fix here, Mike.
Yeah.
The way he presents it, you immediately go, oh, he's in on it
He's
too.
full of
He
shit.
knows.
Yeah.
Officially, the church won't comment on any of the recent phenomena, but I think
Yes,
it's a sign
like
from
lifting
God.
the veil back and like
But
being
don't quote me on that. Hands down is my favorite scene in the movie.
Yeah.
All of them, listen, cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. It's a very famous line. Been watching it my whole life. But if you have the DVD box set from a couple years ago and you could watch all the outtakes and the filming of that scene, it is so much fun. There's so many people in that scene. That's the one thing that drives me crazy about even like, the mayor scene in Answer the Call, or even the mayor scene in Frozen Empire, where
There's
they're in the room
nobody
with the
else
mayor.
there.
Yeah.
This
It feels like there should be other officials.
yeah,
and
this
just
scene
like-
Yeah.
has.
Contained mayhem of everyone
You've got
reacting.
firefighters. You've got the police. Peck's in there. There's
Yeah.
pandemonium.
And
He
yeah.
says,
And you're realizing that like the people who are supposed to be holding the strings, the government and the church, literally don't know what to do and are kind of full of shit. And it's like that is very much a theme of the movie. I think is very cool.
Yeah, and then what do you need from me? And then it cuts to saving the day in the military. I mean, Dude, okay, so can I get to my rant now? Mm-hmm. What are we? 45 minutes in.
Almost done.
Can I start?
Yeah.
The 4 Ghostbusters, all 4 of them, they are the coolest fucking people in the world. When they come out of that Ecto-1, Ray looks like has no idea what's going on. Peter is owning it. Dude, when they cut to Egon and he's looking up and the wind's going through his hair and his collar's popped,
Yeah.
I wanted to pause the movie and say, if I ever hear one more ounce of the narrative that anybody can be a Ghostbuster, they're the underdogs, they're just regular dudes, no, fuck that. They are superheroes. Nobody has ever come close to looking as good in flight suits as though they are all 6'2", thin, hot. They're just badasses.
They just look cool.
They just look cool.
Yeah.
It's weird because like
They're all 6'2".
Yeah, that's a weird thing to say.
Yeah, I know.
Well, you're like 6'2".
Cut that out. I don't know what that has to do with anything. I do not understand the height thing or why people care about people being tall. I just don't get it. Anyway,
You're tall.
Yeah, it's a
I
good
know,
thing.
but I don't get why it's a thing.
Because
like,
if you were 5'8", you would know.
all
Tall
right.
is good.
Yeah.
I like tall. Tall
Okay.
is good.
I love it all.
All right, keep going.
I was just gonna say like Egon and Ray, like they have that thing where they're dorks, they're nerds, and they do come across as like nervous, but like you said, they have like a natural, like they are
gravitas.
naturally cool. Like whenever, like earlier in the movie, whenever when Egon is talking to Janine, he's like under her desk.
Yep.
And she's asking him about stuff. He has like this weird nerdy confidence about him.
Yeah.
And it's like they all have that. And it does. It makes them, they look cool. They act cool.
Their brains are sexy. Yeah.
And they're confident.
They're confident.
Yeah. And listen, I get it. Jason Reitman in every interview he does says, the great thing about Ghostbusters is that anybody can be a Ghostbuster. And I just want to tell everybody out there, he's lying. Don't take him to heart. Not everybody gets to be a Ghostbuster.
Only the elite.
No, in all seriousness, they just are. Those are my superheroes, and like they just like when Peter walks out with Dana, they walk down the steps and he does that little hair flip with the marshmallow, and then he kisses her. Peter Venkman rules. I'm sick of the slander. Peter Venkman rules. All of them rule. Egon's probably my favorite Ghostbuster.
Yeah.
Because, like, you want to be that smart and nerdy and weird and also cool at the same
Yeah.
Yeah.
time.
And
right?
thin.
Yeah.
He
And
looks
tall.
the best in his flight suit.
He's the
looks-
merry
I always
one.
feel, hey, you know what weird thing I like the most about Egon is the way, I love the way his flight suit fits into his boots.
That's
It's
a
like
solid
It's like a
Yeah,
right
it
in
is.
there,
It
you
goes
know.
right
There's
down
no,
in there.
there's no bagginess in that.
Yeah.
That is a
You got a
tailored-
tuck preference?
He tucks well,
He
dude.
tucks,
Yeah, he
dude.
tucks.
And
well.
Winston's so and Winston's just like hired gun, and he's like, I can't believe I'm with these fucking guys.
Yeah.
The last thing he says before they get to the mayor's office, he said, I got to get my own lawyer. Like,
Yeah.
he kind of doesn't
He-
trust them.
Well, right. And then immediately they're like, "Hey, the mayor wants to see you," and he's like, "Oh wait, I guess I'll go."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Ray, they're all great.
I was going to say Ray is probably a top contestant.
well, we all love
I just
Dan.
love
Ray's
yeah,
probably
Dan.
my favorite. Like, I mean, it was Peter as a kid, you know, but when you grow up and you get your own little personality, I feel like Ray is my
Well, he's
favorite.
passionate. He's the heart of the Ghostbusters. We all know
Yeah.
that. What that movie does so well, it establishes 4 really distinct personalities. Doesn't beat you over the head with any of it. It's just movies are not good at this anymore. Like, I don't know if it's in the script writing these days or studio interference, but like they present those characters as like, you know what Peter Venkman is all about 5 seconds into that movie.
Yeah.
You know what Ray's all about 5 seconds. Like, they don't ever have to go. That's the number one thing. When you go back to Answer the Call, when you look at how fucking weird the first trailer was, like the voiceover, like explaining who they are, like, well, who needs that?
Oh my god!
I am a scientist, and she knows.
4 years ago.
Yeah, it's like it's just like, and I get it. A lot of that is just studio interference and all that.
I know
because
New York.
the studios underestimate the audience's ability to fucking figure things out.
Well, that's because the audience is full of people on their goddamn phones.
Right,
They're
right.
like, oh, what's this? Why? What is this? I was on my phone.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like with Ghostbusters, the writing behind those characters was written by, one of the characters themselves who knows the other actors very well, Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah,
saying,
and
the
Harold.
original
Yeah,
story. And Harold,
Ivan too. Yeah.
So it's like the characters that they're playing are so lived in because they're so close to the personalities that already exist. It's very hard to have that. And yeah, Answer the Call definitely got really wonky with trying to design characters that
You do get the sense that
believable.
1984 Bill Murray's not that far away from Peter Venkman.
Yeah.
yeah, like they felt like a glove. The characters fit them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of gloves, the glove compartment on the Ecto HasLab does not open. We learned that.
No, where am I going to put my hairsprays?
The radio doesn't work either.
If anybody is interested in learning more about the HasLab, we did a little interview with Pat and Emily on Toy Anxiety last week. It was really fun. Cheap plug for our other show. Anything else, Abigail, on Ghostbusters?
No, I just love it. I still think I get this big smile on my face sometimes when I think about us running out to that Ecto in New Jersey, going to the Javits Center. That was like one of the coolest things ever, and I love it that we have things like that happen in our life.
Yeah. I can't believe how many times we've been to the Javits Center.
Yeah.
Like 5 times in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I was listening to this podcast today. It was a political podcast, but it's kind of interesting, that point that you brought up about things we've done in our life. This podcast was making this point that, you always hear people say, oh, social media is so bad for people. I promise this will tie back in a little bit, kind of. One of the points they were making is, pre-social media, pre-internet, you just lived your life. Your life was your life, and your neighbors in your neighborhood probably lived in a similar house, maybe had similar jobs of similar means, and that was your immediate surroundings. And yes, there were celebrities and rich people, but that was just such a far-off thing. And the point they were making is that because of the internet and because of the social media influence on people, we live in a culture now where we're constantly looking at what everybody else in the world is doing.
Yeah.
And feeling, no matter where you are in your life, people are going, well, why am I not doing that?
The comparison.
The comparison thing.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily know why I'm bringing this up, but it's interesting just from a behind the scenes, lifting the curtain kind of thing. Like, we, here, can we get real for a second?
Sure.
Everyone's looking at me, Craig, why are you
You're
just
being-
do it?
The
Stop
other
being weird. Just do
50
it.
minutes weren't real?
No, now we're going to get real. So we do, like Abby just said, we've gotten to do really cool things. We've had amazing experiences. If somebody found our Instagram and had no idea what YHS was and went there yesterday or today and flipped through, they might form an opinion based on what they see. As in, oh, look at... Some people would say, why do they get why do they get to do this stuff? I think it's really important as podcasters, as content creators. I don't like using the influencer word, but that is kind of a catch-all. Just a shout out to the people who do it. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I think that is a part of it that doesn't always get represented as well, because social media output is usually like a curated version of whatever the thing is. So like we went to the firehouse, you put up that nice 60-second reel that captures everything, and it's this beautiful package, but we drove to New York.
We drove to New York.
Yeah.
We got up super early in the morning, went
Yeah.
through awful traffic multiple times.
Yeah,
Slept
canceled
in the car.
Ubers.
We were there for 3 hours,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like waiting on a fucking car to show up.
Yep.
Yeah, it is a lot of work.
And then on the way to the Hasbro shoot, we were in a taxi cab, and I got so sick I thought I was going to legit throw up, and then I did have to.
Yeah,
in the building.
If you guys watched the 1027 event with us, it was in between Abby throw up events.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
it had just been It
None
was
of
a
that
hot
is complaining.
taxi ride.
It's
No,
just,
no
it's
complaints.
just.
this is not
It is a lot. It's a lot to.
We're talking about the things that we don't show. That's not necessarily as glamorous, but the things that we do have to go through in order to do
I
this.
always like when I listen to podcasts and they're not just performing the whole time. They like lift the curtain up a little bit. And I think like if people, but the reason I actually just tying this all back, the reason I brought it up is because I had somebody reach out to me recently and say they were going to maybe start a podcast. And they're like, do you have any advice? And sometimes I feel like an obligation to give very real advice, which is don't fucking do it. Step back. No, I'm just kidding.
I've had people ask me this at work.
Like, do it because you love it. And when you have that feeling of, oh, I don't really want to do it today, that's when you do it twice as hard.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing. I think that's like a weird, I don't know if that comes natural to people, but like there's been plenty of times where you're tired, you're broke, you're angry, you want to do anything else in the world but sit down and record a podcast, but you do it. And those are usually like your best episodes because you're putting in the effort. So like if people are out there, if you ever want to do like podcasting, content creation or anything else, like take it from us. Like we literally started from like, we didn't know anybody. We still don't. We kind of just know each other.
Yeah.
Well, there's like it's like a work ethic thing, but I promise you, I'm not saying this from like, look it up. It's more of a, people ask this all the time.
Yeah.
So I guess the catch-all answer I was getting is just, it is a lot of work, but you get out of it what you put into it.
Yeah, it gives back.
I'm just quoting Stripes. I'm not saying the Army's going to do for you what it did for me, son. Did you have any other input on that?
Oh, just the advice that I've given to people who've asked me about like podcasting tips. I say from our experience, I said, hit the record button as soon as possible and get everything of you and the other person catching up with each other about your day. Get that banter because that's how people get to know you. And I wouldn't have thought to have done that, but that's something that I've learned through podcasting, that's like a really important time.
Yeah. But the reason I brought this all up is because listen to that political podcast. They were talking about, one of the core issues that people like vote on, the thing that bothers people is this notion of like, where's my piece of the pie, right? Where's my piece of, and it can be hard. Like when you scroll through Instagram, like if you follow different kinds of accounts, like there can be times where I'm like, oh my God, everybody else in the world is just doing everything I wish I could do, but I have to do X, Y, and Z. I think that's a trap.
It is.
That human beings are falling into.
It is.
Yeah.
That's why people tell you social media is bad.
Yeah.
Literally because of that. Because it's, for some people, it's hard to look at a social media account and not understand that is just the best parts of this person.
Of 8 years of work, at least for us.
right.
But yeah, for other people.
I mean, it's for anybody. Anybody's like that.
Right.
Nobody puts the bad stuff on their. You know what I mean? I mean, well, wait, hold on. Sorry. Some people do. Some people do.
Yeah.
But the accounts that are the kind of accounts that people like fawn over or whatever, they're curating what they show people.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's
No.
just understanding that that's not complete,
Accurate.
real.
Reflection.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, it's like literally any piece of, even a movie, the hour and 40 minutes that you get, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of work between hundreds of people to make that thing.
Yeah.
I think it's important for people to realize that, like, if you want to start a podcast and if you want to do like go to events and cover, like, just figure out a way to do it. There's been plenty of times where it's like, we want to go to this thing, but we just found out about it. And like New York, like
Everything
we're gonna have to
almost
drive.
everything we do at this point
Yeah.
is
like, hey, we haven't driven to California last minute yet, but I'm not saying I wouldn't do it.
I would.
You're driving to Vegas tomorrow.
Yeah, you are.
You're starting halfway.
I
but-
like the road. I like road trips. I think
the
I'm.
road.
I think I'm built for a long road trip. I don't know if the two of you are.
I don't
Oh,
think
I'm being
I know
complete-
for a
I'm
fact
built.
I'm not.
Being completely honest,
No.
you two have your limits. I think.
Oh, I do.
Dude, I
need to get out and run around. I get car sick.
I used to be able to do it. I don't have it anymore. I used
I know.
to. I'm just saying. I thought I did pretty good. I did pretty good.
Here's
excellent
You
driver.
guys both drove
here's the
this
thing.
time.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing. I'll show you.
Breaks.
I do the best. Greg does the second best.
I do the worst.
Abby does the third best.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, not
and
worse.
it's, that's
the
not a
word.
bad thing. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, you can tell when
Yeah.
I can look at my watch and be like, 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes until one of these two are gonna.
Get tired of being in this car.
Yeah.
Dude, I will
Yeah.
straight up get so tired and stop to get a drink and drive for like 3 miles and then stop again.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
not efficient.
Yep.
Yeah. I get cooped up in a car. I think that's the thing that gets
We need
to
a
me.
tour bus or something.
Yeah. Yeah,
need
if
some-
we had a larger space.
If we had a large dude who could just drive us, like a guy named Rick or something, Rick Harrison from Pawn Stars. If he
I
would
want
drive
like
us.
a big
But,
90s.
but the thing is Craig, every time we take road trips,
Yeah.
I tell you 50 times, hey man, I'll drive if you want, because I don't mind driving.
Yeah.
And no offense, I drive better than I'm the best driver out of the three of us. And
we all have opinions.
I think we
No.
all think we're the best driver.
no. You two are the worst drivers I know. And I'm
No,
sorry.
Abby's-
I
Abby's-
love
I'm
you.
actually not that bad. I
Abby's-
know I was the one time that I drove you when we were like new friends, and I was not even
Abby,
on.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because I love you.
Yeah, but I haven't driven you that much.
You drove the other day
Yeah.
on that trip.
Yeah.
I thought you did good.
Yeah.
Just a little fast a couple
Go a little
times.
fast.
A little fast.
I don't like going slow.
You were going very fast.
Yeah, you were going really
You
fast.
had there were cars behind us.
Do you want to get there?
flashing the lights at us?
Yeah.
Why? Because I was going too fast?
No.
Yeah, dude. This
My-
is why we take airplanes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite, for I'll be real, one of my favorite, I do prefer to drive because it's like a control thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to let it go though.
Yeah.
And I did better on this trip,
Mm-hmm.
I think. Maybe not.
No.
You drove.
Yeah.
2 hours.
You for such a short amount of time. Like when we're taking long drives like that.
Yeah.
I try to tell you like, hey, I like driving,
Yeah.
and you sometimes seem to get. I can tell when you're tired of driving.
Yeah.
And you will force yourself to keep driving, even though other people in the car are like, "We'll drive."
Right. But this time I literally was like, hey, will you drive?
Yeah.
But my favorite story ever was when we drove to Martha's Vineyard and you drove for the first time.
Yeah.
And we pulled up into a toll booth and you
What did I do?
you hit
Did
the
I-
booth.
Did it?
And in my head, I was like, oh, yeah, this guy's a great driver. It's all fun.
Yeah,
But I
it
think
is.
this is all part of the experience of like, we're friends. We are not just like, I think a lot of podcasts are just, they podcast together. And
Yeah, and that's it.
like, we all know each other like the back of our hands. So we all have our tendencies and our things. And
Yeah. So our advice to people who want a podcast is don't take road trips together.
don't fucking do it.
I like taking road trips with
Yeah.
you guys.
No,
I
me
like
too.
being like
I think my biggest thing is I get mad because I used to really be able to drive a long distance perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And now I get really tired very quickly.
we were. Hey, you know what funny thing happened on the? I didn't say anything to you, Craig, but like
God damn it.
when we came home from New York,
Yeah.
you know, it was like 4 a.m.
So late. Yeah.
It was so late. And at one point, you said this out loud. You were
God.
like, because, you know, we had the maps on or whatever.
Yeah.
And I can't remember it should have been like an 11-hour drive or 14. I don't know
I think
what
it's like to New York, like 13 or something. Like
yeah. And it ended up being more like
Yeah.
16, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were at one point you were like, I don't know why it took so much longer. The thing said, and I wanted to be like, hey, when you stop for 10 minutes every half an hour,
Yeah.
if you do the math, 10 minutes times however many half an hours we've been in the car equals 3 extra hours.
But here's the thing, though. Here's my thing.
It's true.
Okay, here's a truthfulness. I don't like driving and like looking at the mountains. I don't give a fuck. I'm like, oh, fuck, I've seen all the mountains. My favorite thing is stopping at a truck stop. Like, looking at the.
I know.
I know.
Isn't that fun though?
You stop so much,
Jeez.
and it's not always a bad thing.
I like those
but like,
hats.
but
it works
but
for me.
I noticed when you get tired,
Yeah.
you stop more.
Well, because I'm tired.
Yeah, and it's just like
So
we're never gonna get there.
What we usually do. We should have a list of YHS's rules of the road.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
No, it's fine.
I don't think any of us were doing things that. I mean, I don't know if I'm doing anything that annoys you guys on trips.
No,
I don't
just
think-
in general get sensory overload. If
Yeah,
I'm
but
close
that
to
happens
people
when we
for
go
over-
from here to Walmart,
Yeah,
10 miles
it
away.
happens
Like,
on the
it's
way
not a
on
road
a
trip
short
thing.
drive.
Well, that
I-
happened,
yeah.
Abby. You had kind of a thing while I was driving, and I was like, it made me be like, "Am I driving bad?" I was like, "What?" is
No.
that?" But then
No,
I
I
know
just
you,
hit my
so.
limit of.
Well, it's
I
because
was
you-
getting sick in the backseat.
You had been nauseous most of the weekend. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
as
think-
per my story.
I think you have some. I'm talking to you, Craig. I think you have some driving habits that you could.
Who are you looking at?
That you could like work on, but I don't think any. Like you, I don't get annoyed by you guys when we're in the car for a long time.
I think we all probably. You can't spend like when you're 40 years old almost, or I'm 40, so I'm. You guys don't know it yet, but I know like the 40 experience. You're almost there. We all have our stuff.
Yeah.
We're all locked into our modes.
Yeah.
And the shit is just easier to deal with when you're 25 than you're 40. So this all goes back to the original conversation of we flew to Las
Ghostbusters
Vegas.
are cool.
Oh yeah. I think that like
We were all in the car together.
I honestly sometimes rather drive than do the plane.
well flying airport. It's a pain in the ass.
I personally, my opinion, I like flying. I prefer it to driving.
I like
it's faster.
I like flying too. I just like
Feels like a privileged,
Yeah.
exciting experience to be in the air.
sure. I just like having. I like when. Once a year we're like, okay, well, this is going to be a drive.
Here's the thing. Couple things. Now that this is fun.
especially when it's a new route.
The drive up, like when we went through Virginia, it starts with a V, not an F.
Well, that's
Just let
because
everybody know.
yeah, I know what you're about to say. It's
Virginia.
because we stopped. It's because
No,
we
I'm
stayed
saying
the night, right?
it was nice though.
Yeah.
We went through like a nice route. This year specifically, there were more long road trips. Remember, we went to Ohio,
yeah.
into Pittsburgh
Yep.
for things, and then you and I had a bonus trip
Yep.
to Ohio.
Yep.
Trying to find a hotel. You were so nice. I called her. It was like 2 a.m. I was like, can't find a hotel. We're in Kentucky.
Oh my God. I
Abby
remember
goes.
that.
Abby goes. Well, I'm glad I'm not there.
It's true. It's true. Well, I'm all about my home base. And I think the further that I get away from my home on a trip, like the more I feel it on a road trip of like, oh, I'm really getting far away from my house. If I take a flight, it's
Wait
like,
till we
it
land in
seems like
Tokyo.
it seems closer to me or something, which I know doesn't really make sense.
We're gonna have to find the Hateville of Tokyo.
Yeah.
It's all good though. But that's part of the fun is like because this is the one thing I always tell Abby. Like we all, I don't know. I have mental health struggles. Abby, you've been pretty open about the things that
Yeah.
you've gone through.
Oh, yeah.
We all go through stuff. The one thing I do know, here's another piece of advice that no one's asking for. When life is tough, when you're in a stressful moment, especially if like you're in a moment that's supposed to like, oh, I'm supposed to be having fun right now. I'm supposed to be doing work or going to a convention, but I feel overwhelmed and stressed. In my experience, when you look back on whatever you do, like you tend to remember the good stuff more than the bad stuff. At least that's my frame of mind. Like that's what I think allows me to push through tough spots, whether it's like a financial situation or I don't know how we're going to pull this off, but like YHS has this kind of like, we've kind of have this mandate for ourselves to where like, if there's a Ghostbusters thing, we're going to try to be there. Sometimes it feels like I don't know how. Like even this year, like Abby, like coming out of DragonCon and with Gypsy passing away, and then going, man, we're about to do Horror Nights, and then the following week we're going to New York. Like it felt like overwhelming. But when I look back and I look at the stuff we did with Hasbro, we did the panel, all the Mondo stuff, I go, man, that was a challenge, but I'm proud of the work that we did.
Yeah, the good things that come out in the wash. It reminds me of when I used to go like gem mining as a kid, where they'd like give you the big bucket of sand that you'd like put into the sifting thing.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, you know, you got your bucket of dirt and crap, but as you shake it through the water as it runs down, the stones are the things that remain, and those are the things that are worthwhile. And I feel like that's, you know, life is the thing, the running water and the shaking and the process of like, oh my God, everything is so stressful, but it's only the good stuff that comes through that you remember. And we've got some really good gemstones.
Season 4 coming up.
Yeah.
Jacob and I, I like that.
Yeah,
Thank you for
nice.
that.
Thank you.
Jacob and I were talking about that the other day. We were talking about when we interviewed Jason Reitman. The interview's awesome. It's fun. It's exciting. But if you remember, the circumstances to pull that off were
Yeah, it was
really
stressful.
Yeah.
They were tough. Like
Low sleep,
low
a
sleep.
lot of coffee, a lot of weird
It was
internet
early in the
connections.
morning.
Yeah.
The Wi-Fi didn't work.
We had to rent out a space in New York.
Yeah.
How did we? I want to go back to 2021. Throwing parties, renting out spaces in New York.
Yeah, thanks, holiday memories. That's how.
But seriously, like, when I look back, I go, that was cool. We got to interview Jason Reitman, and he told us all about how anybody could be a Ghostbuster, and I was like, wrong. But that doesn't even include like the 90 email thread between Sony and like, you know, like it takes a lot to
Yeah.
get shit done.
Right.
That's the whole point.
It's a lot of work.
We
Yeah.
covered some ground.
It's more than just what you see on the surface.
Anything else?
No.
And this might be like an all-time classic episode.
Yeah, dude, let's break
you
this into
say
like
that
6
at the
parts
end
and
of
charge
every
for
week.
it.
Hey, I say that every time. This might be one of the best.
Your thing is that you think if you say that at the end of the episode, then whoever's listening will think that.
We'll go, whoa, comment. This was an all-time best episode of YHS
Somebody
podcast.
will. Jason
Also, I
Grohowski
think
might say
Craig's the
it.
funniest.
Jason's my guy. He'll say it for me. Shout out to Jason who sent us. I got to give you those prints. He sent us some photo prints
Cool.
of our
Yeah.
Very cool.
parties.
Oh yeah, I saw those. Those are really cool.
Abigail, I know I like your gemstone analogy. Anything else?
Thank you. No, that's it. I have great memories of doing that. I think it was in like maybe Tennessee or something like that. My favorite stone was garnet. I remember I got a few of those.
Garnet?
Yeah.
What color
It's like
is
a
that?
red,
Okay.
like a really pretty red, almost translucent
Cool,
stone.
cool.
So
I
yeah,
know,
I like talking about that, and thanks for listening and hanging out, y'all. I love you, and go adopt a cat and be a good person.
Or adopt two.
Adopt too.
What else?
Go outside, nerd.
Get outside. To invite me to no cousin's party. Yeah, this was good. Hey, by the way, if you do want to start a podcast, I like what Abby said. Just sit down and do it. Because what most people do, they get the Instagram, the Facebook, the Twitter, they get the logo.
Yeah.
They do all that. They never
then-
get
All the frills,
And then they
without
have to
the
be
work.
embarrassed when they never put an episode
Yeah,
out.
and then
Yeah.
it's just the shame of like, oh, I'm gonna put 2 of these things out.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then they make a post that's like, "Hey guys, so I know I haven't had an episode out in 6 months, but we're gonna change the logo." It's always the fucking
The
logo.
name changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always the logo. But I get it. It's hard. It's not. It's actually not.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not easy.
Just don't
It's a lot
stop
of work.
podcasting.
Anybody can have a podcast, but it is a lot of work. It's like anything else. YouTube, all that. But if you guys want more of this, if you want more from YHS, you can always check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/yeshavesome. Exclusive access to the Discord. I've been doing mental health check-ins on Mondays because I'm kind of like the therapist of Discord. I don't give anybody advice, but I do listen.
Yeah.
You listen.
It's like a good place to hang out, talk toys, talk Ghostbusters, all the stuff. And we'll have new bonus audio coming to you guys very soon. Jacob, have a great time at
Thank you.
DesignerCon.
Yeah, it's gonna
Say
be
hi
good.
to
The
Attack
gang,
Peter,
Yeah, all the
Yeah.
Mondo folks.
Yeah, everybody.
Gabby,
Hector,
Hillary,
Yep.
Hillary.
Hillary.
I just like I can't hear the word Hillary without doing the Bill Clinton voice. That's what Hillary used to
Different
tell
Hillary.
me. Impressions.
Cool.
Say hi to everybody.
Bill Clinton.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, say hi to him.
And we'll see everybody next week. Thank you for joining Yes Have Some Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you find this podcast. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and follow us on Instagram at YHS Podcast. And if you haven't backed to HasLab yet, do that
Do
too.
it.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So, 2 byes. Bye.
Stay tough, Marshmallow fans.
Thank you.
Do I? Yes, have some.
Yes, have some.